Hi, I'm Bianca Cotton, host of Behind the Confident Smile, where we inspire women to walk in love, live in hope, and be healed from past hurts. And today I am joined by my sister, Nicole Sala Harper Spencer, better known as Sala to me. Welcome, Sala.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here. I'm so excited.
Oh, yes.
For the interview.
I am ready to dig into your journey of becoming a doula. Yeah. But before we go there, I want to say how you saved my life.
Oh, Lord. I wasn't expecting it.
When I was pregnant with my first child, and I remembered, like, in my third trimester that you were a doula, and I was like, hey, I need help. And I text you. Yeah. And from that moment on, you walked me through what it meant to carry a life, birth, the technical language I needed even saved me from getting induced when it wasn't necessary. So thank you. Thank you for your work.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah, we are keepers of the realm, right? Protectors of the process and of the birth experience. So,
definitely. Yeah. So when you were a little girl, did you imagine yourself catching babies?
No. No, actually, early on, I thought I was going to be a community organizer, and I am to a certain extent, but I thought I was going to be a lawyer. And then I changed that to becoming a nurse. I never went down the lawyer path. I ended up becoming a registered nurse, and then after that, somebody kind of introduced being a doula because they knew my community background of working with young girls and having a mentorship program. And then it fell on my lap, and I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. So, yeah, I figured that out. You know.
But that was like over a span of how many years?
Absolutely. Yeah. So nursing school was teens to early 20s, and then I delved in that for quite some time and kind of did the whole burnout thing, and it was just like not my passion anymore. I was like, I'm done with it. And, that's the job that everybody's like, once you land that, like, that's it. Almost kind of like becoming a police officer or a fireman. Everybody like, these are the jobs you want to go for. And I was like, nah. So after that, it was just like, let me just jump into, this and see what happens. And it happened. And 200 plus births later, and, experiencing tons of people and families and dropping seeds and seeing them flourish. Here we are.
Yeah. We're going to get to the 200
plus
births because that's a lot of babies.
Yeah, there's a lot of babies.
Over a span of, 10 plus years?
Yeah, I've been a doula for 11 years now.
11 years. What is a doula?
So a doula is basically a trained person that provides emotional and physical support to a birthing person or a mom in the perinatal or prenatal phase, the interpartum, which is during labor, and then the postpartum phase of their experience.
And why is being a doula important and needed for mamas and families?
We need birth workers and protectors of the realm, like I said earlier. Unfortunately, Black women in this country have been experiencing health disparities, and we've been dying in this healthcare system. And so we need advocates, we need educators, we need mentors. We need people who are able to support us when we are in these arenas and these areas that we are unfamiliar with. And so why not? Why not have a doula to support you? Why not have your sister sitting right there saying, hey, let's talk about this so you are better informed and you're knowledgeable and you're able to make a better decision for you and your family. That's all it is.
So critically important. So with transitioning from nursing of a decade of nursing about?
Yeah.
Of nursing to being a doula, how did your background in nursing help you in your doula work?
Oh boy, help and hinder sometimes. So you definitely have to be within the scope of your practice depending on what you're practicing. And so for a long time, I kept up with my license and, being a nurse and stuff like that. I didn't ever want to lose it. But then also I was finding myself in, of course, the birthing rooms, and nurses will be like, it's something about you. And I'd be like, oh. But, they would pick up on, I knew a little bit more than the average doula. I knew a little bit more, like I was just a little bit more knowledgeable. And they were like, so are you a nurse or something? And I'd be, well, yeah. So it just is definitely helpful because I do know the other side of it. Not that I specialized in OB or labor and delivery. My specialty was med-surg and dialysis, right? That's what I did, and burnt me out. But that's what my specialty was. But just knowing different things, knowing medical jargon, understanding, different processes and, medical interventions, things like that was very helpful. And sometimes it would hinder me because I would want to jump into that role if something wasn't happening in the way I thought that it would. But then, you got to kind of check yourself and say, okay, let me just call the nurse so she can come and, do this or do that and, different things like that. So I'm skilled now. I don't have no issue with, bouncing back and forth. Right. I'm okay. But yeah, so early on, that was a tough cookie, trying to, not fix the IV or not,
you
or
can get sued.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you're like, I'm tired of hearing that beep. Let me just. And it would be funny because some nurses who actually do be like, go ahead, you know what you do. I'm like, nah, because I'm not practicing, you know what I mean, in that scope. And I don't work for this hospital no more. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I had some funny moments.
How long would you say it took you to get out of that mode of having your nursing hat on while being a doula?
Yeah. Well, I never take it off. You always stay, kind of on point and just, observant of things. I just know not to step, over the line, So I'm always, on point with, and even, in other work, those things come in handy, having doula skills, having, nursing skills, having infant mental health skills, having childbirth education skills, breastfeeding, everything that you learn, throughout life, it all come in handy, depending on, different places that you sit. So, yeah.
What did it feel like in your first birth?
Oh my God!
What was
I don't
what
even
was
know.
that
I remember
experience?
The first birth.
The first, your very first.
I have to go back and I don't remember. Now I remember just this last one because it was awesome. But the first one, oh Bianca, listen, I got to go through the piggy bank now.
Or even if you can remember what it felt like just to be in that space. Like, this is my first time.
Yeah. I remember being nervous. I do the first couple of births. You feel like, okay, I know I'm trained, and now it's action time. It's go time. It's what you gonna do, in situations. And sometimes being quiet is just okay. Just your presence, is okay. And, you don't have to do all the 50 things and thousands of things that people think that we're going to do. Like, they think we have people, flipped upside the wall or something, and doing all of these different things. And sometimes it's just not like that, it could be very quiet and peaceful. And sometimes it's loud and rambunctious and, so many things are happening. But I remember being super nervous and just feeling like, okay, the spotlight is on me. Like, what am I going to do, And so just going along with my training, I mean, it wasn't a lot that I did, but I did a lot, right?
Right.
So it wasn't stuff, but it just my presence, just being an advocate, just the educating, the mentoring, the keeping the mom calm. I do remember those things. And I was like, okay, the next time we add on, and the next time you add on. And then, here we are as a seasoned doula. Right. I got the Lowry salt seasoning on me. And, and I just do what I do.
Wow.
So, yeah.
How do you keep a mom calm? And especially giving you support, like teenage to mid-20s.
And older.
And older.
Yeah, and older. Just conversation. Sometimes it's just something about a doula, but I can't speak for all of us, but for me, it's just something about me, right? We all have our skill set. We all have those things that's just like, your energy, your vibe. And a lot of people walk in the room and say to me, you must be the doula. So I'm just really chill. I'm really calm. I tell my clients all the time, a calm mom is a calm baby, is the calm family. If you are all over the place like the Tasmanian devil, then everybody else will follow suit. And so I also take that in consideration for me, that, if I am going loopy and crazy, then that's what's going to happen with people around me. And so I just try to stay calm, even in the craziest situations, and, just talk it through. And I do a lot of laughter too. Making people laugh and cracking jokes.
Yes.
And, that definitely take your mind off the pain and off frustrations and, them coming to do stuff. And, all the interventions you experience, it definitely, keeps you calm, And that's it.
So in helping a mom stay calm, that means that you have to have certain practices for yourself to be able to show up.
Absolutely.
Consistently for
somebody else.
What does that look like for you? Versus what it used to look like. Maybe it has changed.
Oh, yeah,
over time.
It changed. Yeah, it definitely has changed. We carry these capes, right? And we feel like we have to be super mom, super doula, super wife, super this, super that, right? But I just took a step back and I said, self-care is the biggest thing. And so me meditating, me making sure, I cleanse myself off before I become present in somebody's birth and deal with somebody else's energy. But that's pretty much it. Just making sure that I'm getting sleep and I'm, getting the proper nutrition, and I'm also in tune with the client and their family, different things like that. That's pretty much it. It's a process.
I'm sure.
Over time. Sometimes you're not in tune, with certain, people, but I try to, over time, it increases and it helps, build rapport and bonds with people. And, it's a very short period of time that you have where that, I work with the moms and their families. So it's like, you got to get to it. The baby will be here in a minute.
True.
So you don't have, necessarily the whole 10 months. You might have a fraction of that time to, get in tune with somebody and,
Yeah.
So over the years, I've been, it's to the point now when I feel it when somebody goes into labor. So I'm not I don't sleep.
Wow.
It's weird. It is weird. It is really weird. I mean, not for me, but, to somebody else. Yeah, so I feel it. I'm like, okay, something's going on. And I might call and they'll be like, well, I'm having contractions. Or, or they're getting more intense. Or I think I might go to the hospital. I'm like,
that's a deeper level of connection.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And
it happens over time. It happens over time. And this is not going to be like your first client and you be like, I'm going to feel you.
like over a couple of years even.
It's like a spiritual connection that you have with, moms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Darius Hillman. Joining me on the next edition of In the Arena, educator and former NFL pro Sean Cattouse. Take a look.
I'm getting out here needing to go to work, and I'm like, man, I've never, it's like the surreal world. I guess I've never really been a part of it.
Join the conversation Tuesday at 7 p.m. on CAN TV Cable Channel 19 and streaming on cantv.org and the CAN TV Plus app. Experience the power of community television.
I'm curious if being a doula has helped you to be a better mother to your daughter.
I think so. Absolutely.
And in what ways?
The nurturing part, even the education part, and the way you say a thing. You know what I mean? I think, but not only being a doula, but I think all my skill settings and all the experiences I've had, I think has made me into the woman I am and just into a better mom. Of course, I don't think I'm the best mom in the world, right? I think we are. Well, I do, right? But I think, yeah, sure. I mean, I think I'm the best, but it's like there's always room for improvement with anything that we do.
True.
And so, you know, my daughter tells me all the time, "Ma, you the best," and I was like, "Okay, if you say so," you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then you think about it, like, "Oh, I did kind of like bite your ear out the other day." Like, yeah.
That's part of my growth and development.
right. So yeah, I definitely think it has a part to do with you know that part of me, that aspect of my life, you know.
Yeah.
But even being a mother has made me be a better doula too, you know? So I'm able to doula the mom and nurture the mom and give the mom what she needs and love on her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In ways that maybe she hadn't been, you know.
Because of your perspective and lived experience.
Yes.
When you...
And understanding of, you know, child and womb, the
Yes.
process and what's happening.
And
you
the
know,
mind.
And the
when
mind
you're
was going, yeah. Like, it's a lot of things happening, you know, a lot of transitions going on, you know. And the biggest one is you transition into a motherhood.
Yeah.
You know, and so everybody don't necessarily understand, you know, that they are literally developing another them. That's powerful within itself.
That's a heavy responsibility.
Yeah, when we think of it, you know.
Like I'm eating not just for myself, but for this baby. I'm not
breathing.
Drinking water
Yes,
for myself, but for this child.
Yeah.
Breathing, sleeping, like
stressing,
thinking,
loving, everything.
everything.
Yes, yeah. And everything you experience while child is in the womb, baby is experiencing.
Yes.
And we just don't look at it that way. You know, society is just like, oh, we have babies and we pop them out and, you know, we just keep on going and going and going. Yeah. And it's like, no.
This is a sacred
time. Yes.
Sacred process.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the things.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, like, when you were pregnant,
oh man!
Did you have the level of support and care that you give to birthing
Absolutely
parents?
Not. Absolutely not. I had no clue. So of course at that time I was just a nurse, and I wish I had known about a doula or a labor coach or you know, any of that. You know, anybody that could support me outside of my then husband, you know. Yeah. But no, I didn't. But if I had known what I know now, you know, things would definitely would have been different. I had a very traumatic birthing experience, like many of us do, unfortunately. And boy, if I had somebody there, not to say that my mom and, you know, my then husband was, you know, they weren't helpful, because they were. But, you know, it's just something about somebody who knows what to say and who knows what to do. And their presence is powerful and supportive. And, you know, you're scared to death and somebody just grab your hand and you're like, oh. You know, and then just take it away, you know.
Yeah.
You know. You know, the father of my child, he was running around like, you know, like, you know, because he excited, he don't know what to do. You know, I'm in the OR, he's like, what is going on? You know,
I'm glad you brought that up, because what do you want the supportive person that's not carrying the child to know?
Oh boy!
Like,
oh man, it's a lot.
What do they need to know?
You know, being in tune with your partner, even when you're not in tune, is so important. So, in the moment, understanding that this is a sacred time for not only mom and baby, but for you as well, and just being in tune. So when you're in tune with somebody, you could look at them and say, oh, you need some water. Oh, you're nervous. Are you anxious? Are you scared? You know, but to be in the corner smacking on a 6-piece, you or, watching Pop, or you laid out on the couch and she in pain and you just flipping through the TV is not necessarily supportive. So just trying to figure out how you can be supportive in that moment, because it looks different for everybody.
True.
Some people might say, I'll let him stay over there. He okay as long as he's here. And some people, it's like, the smacking is killing me, He not rubbing my back.
Because the senses are heightened.
Yeah, or she ain't doing nothing for me, or I want to rub my feet, whatever it is. But just being in tune with your person, and it'll help you figure out what to do, or even ask questions, although you're scared too and you don't know what to expect and what's happening, but you also know something's happening and something is also happening to you.
True.
So communicating and saying, hey, I'm anxious over here. I don't know what to do.
Right.
Can I do something for you? Right? But can I do something for you? It still let your partner know, like, I'm here. I'm anxious like you and excited, but I don't know what to do for you, and then you can be like, okay, I appreciate that, but it's okay, So, but yeah, I just think getting in tune and figuring out what's the best way to support your partner.
So important. And not just when you go into labor, folks. Along the journey. I just want to say that for the record. Along the process.
Yeah, it's
and
a
the
long
journey.
process.
Yes.
And to do it alone or feel alone, oh my God, that brings a whole bunch of noodles out.
Yeah, and the stress that and the baby feels that.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So let's go back to this 200 plus births.
Oh boy.
It's coming back to it.
Okay.
How does it feel to be a super doula?
Oh Lord, here you go putting the label on me. It feels good. It feels good to participate in just the healthy start of families and the healthy journey of babies, and to just be that birth worker that advocates and be like, yes, this is what, it was peaceful. It was not as traumatic, all of those different things to experience. Don't get me wrong. I've had some that, set me down for a little while, and I had to process and, really think about. And they really affected me. And then you had some that was smooth sailing, and they were like, okay, and it's just like, this is what it should look like. This is what it should feel like. This is what it should be like.
Yeah, a beautiful experience. Yes. Like a celebratory
experience.
Moment. Not a...
Yeah, not a, oh my God, I might die.
Right.
Exactly.
Tell us about one of those times where it sat you down.
Oh, man, boy. When you when you saw me think about a birth, I was like, boy. It was a lot of them that came up. But one in particular that landed on my spirit this morning, I had a client who was, I could say, just had a lot of disabilities. So not only, learning disabilities, but it's just other things going on. And it was a struggle. So before we even got to the actual labor experience, just the prenatal part of trying to get her to just really comprehend and get in tune with herself, it was very difficult, So, doulas have trainings, we deal with, just there's a slew of trainings, right? And there's one particular training that I did have, but it was afterwards, and I was like, oh my God, I wish I would have had that training. But it was called I Too Can Parent, and it was a training about how you have moms and families that we work with in home visiting that, have those disabilities and how you can work with them. And I was like, when I went to that conference, I was like, oh my God, I wish I'd had this. Right, yeah. And a lot of the things I did do right, but I felt so defeated in the moment because I felt like she's not getting it, and it was slow going. So it wasn't that she didn't get it. It was just I had to help her get it in a different way, so it wasn't just like a me and you regular normal conversation. It was a lot of repetition and just trying to do the most simplest things to, just get the points across to her.
Yeah.
And then when we were in the actual labor experience, oh Lordy, it brings, it brings tears up because it was a very traumatic experience, not just for her, but to turn around for her mother and then for me. It was like a whole triangle of just like a domino effect. It ended in a C-section. Both of them ended up being healthy, so yay for that. But just her understanding, like, what is happening to me in the moment, and I was like, there's nothing I could say to you that will get you to understand that, you have to hurry up and flip on your hands and knees because your baby's heart rate is keep decelerating because the medicine is not necessarily agreeing with him, so it was like, what do I say? What do I do? And so at one point I just said, I'm here and this is what I could do. And I just sat by her bedside, just was standing right there the whole time. So whether or not I'm touching her, holding her hand, telling her everything's going to be okay. It's okay, So it was like all the education, trying to, so like if you was to ask me, Sala, what is going on? And I could just tell you, okay, Bianca, this is what's happening, this is what, and you like, okay. But for her, I couldn't do that. And so I was just like, oh my God, I have to figure out a way, where like, it's almost like when you are deaf, right? Or you trying to sign to somebody or something and just, teach through, expressions. Yeah. Or, you looking in my eyes. Right. That nonverbal communication. Other forms of communication. Yes, because she was not grasping language, and I was just like, God dog, And so they ended up being okay, but it was very challenging. Very challenging birth, very challenging prenatal period, postpartum period is an extremely challenging case. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'm glad they made it. I am. I'm glad
and now she is doing well. And the good thing is that even with the way that she communicates, she still let me know, like, hey, I appreciate you. I love you. And although I didn't understand, I understood. Because you was there right there with me. You know what I mean? And so I got that later on, right? I got that later on, and then that's when I had to, thank you, God. Thank you.
All the feels.
Yeah. And, baby is good and thriving and achieving, the way he should be, And so things are going well for them.
Lovely.
Yeah. Right?
Oh, this gives me all the feels.
Yeah, I know.
As we come to a close of our time journeying through your becoming a doula experience, what is one word?
One word.
Or one sentence that you want to share with people who are becoming doulas?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Put your best foot forward and do it. And become the best doula that you want to be to service people. Yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
All right, y'all.
You heard it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Because we need more doulas.
Yes.
Period. We need more doulas. Yeah, there's birth doulas, death doulas, it's doulas all over the place. Yeah. So just do it because we need people to help people navigate through the system, and the birthing process. So just do it.
Definitely. Well, Sala, thank you.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
Such a pleasure. I just feel warm.
You feel warm.
Just do it, y'all. You heard it here.
Yeah.
You are needed. And thank you for tuning in.